Welcome back to my channel. This is News and Politics Week. Now today, man, today, we talk about the Jeffrey Epstein. This happened what, like a week, a week or two ago, and they said they released the Democrats released some new photos of him. Around certain people, and I bet you, you got one side say the photos are handpicked just so they can get everybody to talking and stuff like that, which is an insult to motherfuckers' intelligence, though. I ain't gonna lie. But let's go ahead and get into the story, man. See what they talking about real quick. The reason I say insult to people intelligence because they do want people to be like, oh my God, look who Epstein around. Maybe they was on the island too and this and that and stuff like that. So it's just like, bruh, like when people think they can play with you like that, it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Motherfuckers still gonna vote for him too. That's crazy.
In the middle, some of the other images will show President Trump with Epstein. We've seen some images of that before. The new cache will show other images of Trump and Epstein side by side.
And we should note, Scott, that just because these people are seen with Jeffrey Epstein, who, socialize quite frequently, we see President Trump as a private citizen there in this batch of some 19 images from House Oversight Democrats. Just because we see people in these images doesn't necessarily mean they're accused of wrongdoing. So what is the end game? Why are House Democrats on the Oversight Committee releasing these now? Could this lead to legal action?
Yeah, these images show no criminal wrongdoing, no wrongdoing of any sort, but they don't happen in a vacuum. They're being released just as the Department of Justice is facing this deadline to release a complete set of Epstein case files. And the more images you see, the more they can ratchet up the political pressure for the administration to follow through, finish up, and release the entirety of what they have. And the entirety of what they have could be hundreds of thousands of pages that would require redactions, ensuring the privacy of information about victims, about the identities of victims. It's a process, and it's unclear to a lot of people how they get that all done by next Friday.
Scott MacFarlane in our DC bureau with discussion of that breaking news on these images just released from the Epstein estate. Scott, thank you very much. Let's jump to CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe, who was also watching this as it unfolds. Ed, what is the expected reaction from the White House? President Trump has called Epstein in general a hoax, but has also defended the Department of Justice's efforts to get justice for victims. So what can we expect from your part of the world today on this topic?
We have asked here at the White House for comment. We have obviously not received one yet. We'll keep an eye on his Truth Social account and see if anyone else here comments on it. Remember, yes, the president and Epstein were known to be friends through most of the 90s, earlier this century. The president has not been accused of any wrongdoing whatsoever, and it is important to stress these are 19 photos from, as Scott will tell us, tens of thousands, if not more, documents, photos, other exhibits that have been compiled from and are slowly being released from the Epstein estate by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. This White House and Republicans writ large have accused the Democrats on the committee of cherry-picking pieces of evidence that have been shared by the Epstein committee to embarrass the president or to keep this going for political reasons. But here, for example, in this image, you see the former president, Bill Clinton, alongside Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein. And again, just because they were in a photo together doesn't mean he did anything wrong. Maxwell, most recently in her testimony or her interview with the Deputy Attorney General earlier this year, remember, said that while she knew Trump was a friend of Epstein, she wasn't aware of him having committed any kind of illegal act, criminal act, or having engaged at all with the young women that Epstein kept in his circles. And, there's been tremendous pressure placed on the Justice Department to release all this ever since last year's campaign, when it was then candidate Trump and many who now work in positions of power saying that this information should be released for the broader public to see. You're starting to see it, but at the hands of congressional Democrats, not the Justice Department. And we are still several days away from the release of further information at the order of judges. And then, of course, the law that was passed by the House and the Senate mandating that all of the information that the Justice Department have be released. And that's coming up on a late December release date that, of course, is going to come at the end of the year when people are focused on other issues, justifiably at the holiday season. But we'll just further begin to fill out some of the details, some of the imagery that people have wondered about. But again, like this photo here, what does this tell us other than the president, who was then a businessman, was in a photo with someone? Who that someone is unclear, but for Democrats to release that today is going to immediately spark more accusations that they're just stoking this for political purposes, unless they can justify or explain why that photo is out there. There's another one, and again, we've seen photos like this of then businessman Trump spending time with his friend Epstein, but again, it doesn't allege or show any criminal behavior or anything untoward that some may have accused or believe the president may have committed at some time.
Ed O'Keefe with the latest at the White House for us. Ed, thank you. I want to jump back to Scott MacFarlane in our D.C. bureau as we kind of digest all of this, Scott. We've been looking through, I guess it's approximately 19 images that House Democrats on the House Oversight Committee have released. We've just seen images of Steve Bannon with Woody Allen, the famous director. We saw Alan Dershowitz. We saw former President Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, the economist and former Treasury Secretary, who actually resigned from the board of OpenAI recently because of his name popping up in the Epstein files. None of them are being accused of any wrongdoing here and now, Scott. So why release these images, especially considering that victims of Epstein have said they want to make sure certain victims are protected with these images being released? So what is the angle?
Some good questions. Let me double down on what Ed just said. He nailed it. Yeah, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, who've been the conduit for so much in this Jeffrey Epstein release, have been accused of cherry picking certain things, not just by the White House, but by the Republicans on the House Oversight Committee, who've said that this is all a political mess the Democrats are trying to cause. Some photos of Donald Trump when he was a private citizen many years ago next to a anonymous woman on a plane next to Jeffrey Epstein some time ago. What value do they bring? Well, I think this is happening at such a pivotal moment. Democrats would argue it brings a lot of value. It underscores the importance of releasing the full Jeffrey Epstein case files because it shows that Jeffrey Epstein was operating in some very powerful circles and that maybe those case files show something the public needs to know without defining what that something is. And we've seen just a remarkable thing over the last couple of weeks. We've seen 3 federal judges, 1 in Florida, 2 in New York, unseal grand jury materials. That doesn't happen very often. Grand jury materials tend to stay sealed to protect investigations, tips, sources, and content. But this unsealing happened because the president signed a law that Congress passed almost unanimously requiring the full Epstein case files be released, that the public wants them. So we're unsealing grand jury materials. They're releasing photos of people from many years ago with some type of proximity to Jeffrey Epstein. All of this underscores the importance of what happens 1 week from today, when there's a deadline of December 19th for the full release of the Jeffrey Epstein case files, a deadline no one is confident anybody's going to be able to keep because it is a Herculean task. There's a lot of records, a lot of redactions like that need to be undertaken. They may come out of context. People won't know what to make of them. And, oh, by the way, Errol, those records have to be searchable and easily reviewable by the public. That was one of the caveats of the law signed by the president.
I think I found some of the pictures, man, that people was talking about that just got released. I don't know if these new, I don't know if these old. I'm assuming they new though, so let's go ahead and get right to it. This is Epstein and Clinton. Once again, it proves nothing, but you know what I'm saying. They trying to get people to talk. Once again, got people talking though. That's look like a picture of Epstein somewhere in a desk or a table, something like that. Then you got Epstein hugged up with I don't know who this is, but he hugged up with somebody. They having a swell time. I don't know what they had going on. Another picture of him in the picture frame, so it's probably on his desk. We just seen this picture of dude, but Epstein was either behind him, about to sit down or something like that. This a dude who owned Virgin Mobile, the cell phone company, and they be doing all like he do a lot of stuff. I think he own more things too, but I'm not sure. But yeah, going crazy, man. Millionaires. You know what I'm saying? They in powerful circles. Now, once again, dude just made a good point. He said that the Democrats released this because they want the whole Epstein files to be released and not just some, and that's why they handpicked certain photos. Probably bullshit, but you know it is what it is. They want to get people talking for sure. Now, when it comes to just a side, when it comes to the Republicans, the Democrat side, I'm gonna keep my politics to myself. I ain't even gonna say it. But this is Epstein again, man. Maybe this is, I don't know who that is. Could be around the picture Epstein again with 2 more people. Okay, now this is definitely a younger picture of Epstein, so people probably have seen this for sure. A while back. I don't know who. I want to say. Listen, I want to. Is this Hillary? I can't tell. I can't tell if that's young Hillary, man. Okay, that's Epstein. Then that's Giselle. Once she captured a minute ago, and then once I think she died behind bars or something like that, if I'm correct, or maybe she's still behind bars or something like that. I'm not sure. That was like a while ago, maybe like even a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think. When they caught Giselle, I believe that's Giselle was Epstein's assistant. So yeah, then they with 3 more gentlemen. Who knows what they got going on? Oh, that's the end of the photos. No, it's not the end of the photos. Epstein hugged up with you know what I'm saying? Like they in I don't know where they at, but they clearly dressed up like they was in Dubai. Okay, and that's it. More photos of Epstein dropped, so we finna go ahead and look at these. Before it even ends, though, the people who already think that something is up with the people that's in the pictures are already gonna believe that with whoever's in these pictures, and then also the other side of the coin too, people who also believe hey, just pictures don't prove nothing, still gonna believe that. But let's go ahead and see who's in these pictures, man. So it's some pretty big names, right? You had Michael Jackson, I believe Mick Jagger, Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey. I want to say one more person, Diana Ross. Nah, it might have been somebody else that I'm missing, but you had some pretty big names there, right? But it's like I said before I just seen showing so many pictures. You're gonna believe whatever you want to believe what the band. So that being said, I guess we still win. This is an interesting video. Once again, it's 2 sides to it. Which is already explained, but let me try to go over them again real quick. Democrats dropped a picture of Epstein, trying to get people talking. The Democrats said they dropped the picture so they can get the whole Epstein file, the files out, and so they could be released to the public and everybody can know about them. But then you got the Republican side saying that they only cherry pick certain photos to get everybody to talk and to make it seem like something is that it isn't. So yeah, man. With that being said, this is one of the interesting stories. And I just wanted to talk about it. I ain't gonna lie, news and politics week. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.